Hello and welcome to another session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'll be taking you through class today. Before we get rolling, let's go over our quick disclaimer. You're about to engage in an intense physical activity. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to perform any movement or activity that exceed your current physical capabilities. Participants with injuries, high blood pressure, chronic health conditions, recent chest pain, or that have any other condition that may limit their ability to participate in this activity should consult their physician or healthcare provider before proceeding. All right, everybody, let's go ahead. We're going to start on our feet today. Get all the clock started. Go ahead and place your feet right underneath your hips, toes pointing straight ahead. We're going to bring our palms in front of our chest. We're going to take some nice deep breaths here, breathing in as you reach up to overhead. Elongate through the spine and exhale, relax the arms down. Just nice and gradual here, 3 times through. Breathe and stretch. Use this time to center yourself, bring yourself present, and just notice how you're speaking to yourself, how you're talking about your body. When we focus on what hurts, sometimes it can continue to hurt. So tell your body that it's healing, tell your body that it's gaining strength. From here, we're going to go ahead and shift to the side. We're going to shift that back hip forward as we rotate that front arm up and back. We're going to go 3 cycles here and then switch sides. So reach, and we're engaging this glute on this back leg, gradually allowing that hip flexor to open as you stretch and reach. Very nice. Last time. Very good. Before we twist to the other side, let's go ahead and pause in the center and let's circle those hips around. So we're going to go hip circles, 3 to 5 each direction. Just gradually waking up. Very good. And then reverse directions when you're ready. Shift around the other way. Fantastic. And now you're going to turn to your opposite side. Again, engaging the back hip. Shift that hip forward, and then we're going to reach and rotate. Welcome, Jean. Reach and all the way back. This is our second time on this side, Jean. So if you want to maybe just go 2 arms together. There you go. And one more time here. Up and open. Fantastic. Back to center. Heels planted, feet are outside the hips, slight bend in those knees. And we're going to go into our windmills here, hinging at the hips. Send the hips back. Bow forward, reach towards your opposite leg. Fire those glutes as you stand, hinging over. Just looking to reach a little bit farther each time. Not trying to force anything. And long spine here as you hinge over. Very nice. Over and up. Very good. From there, you're going to walk your feet back in so they're all the way underneath the hips, toes straight ahead. We're going into our Jefferson curl next. Chin to the chest, and we're just going to slide the hands down, rounding forward, just waking everything up through the spine. Stay strong in the midsection. And when you find your bottom position to start, breathe into your back. Keeping a little bit of bend in the knees. Take about 2 breaths here, and then we'll tuck the hips under, gradually start to come back up. Very good. We're going to go hands together, reaching up to overhead, and now we're going to side bend here. Bending to the side, up to center, and I just have my fingers interlaced and bending to the other side. Very good. Let's go twice more each direction. So hinging to the side. Really lengthening out the side of the body. It's going to help loosen up the backside. Very good. And on this third time, if you want to put your feet a little bit wider, you're going to bend to the side and then turn towards the ceiling. So peering up towards the ceiling and then back to center and then to the other side. Side bend and then turn your torso towards the sky. And back to center. Fantastic. Relax those arms down. We're going to head back one more time into that Jefferson curl, but we're going to stay down there and we're going to kind of make our way to the floor. So chin to the chest, bowing forward. And then whatever you need to do, if you need to widen your feet out a little bit and start to reach your hands out and crawling down onto the floor. We're going to come onto our hands and knees and stretch out our forearms. So we'll go fingers down, or palms down rather, fingers towards you, and just gently stretch back and side to side. Once you get a nice stretch there, then we're going to walk the hands. So now that the fingers go facing inward towards one another, and then side to side here. And on this one too, I just like to pivot around. So I pivot up and around, and then switch directions. All right, very good. So we're going to start with some glute activation this morning. And then we're going to come back to our feet and do a little bit of balance work. So you can go bird dog here, or quadruped knee to elbow. So hold everything nice and square. Pick a side you want to start with. And if you want to only do the leg, you can just do the leg or add the opposite arm as well. So I'm going to point the toe, extend, and we're going to go elbow towards the knee underneath the body, lifting up out of that support arm. Let's get 5 on each side here. Fire those glutes, elbow towards the knee. Really being aware that you hold the mid-back neutral. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale as you bring the elbow towards the knee. Getting lengthen, not allowing the low back to arch. And then we're going to switch sides after 5. So find a good position. Nice wide handprint as well, so you can grip those fingers down. Extend the opposite leg, opposite arm. 5 on this side. In and pause. And really take a moment in that extended position. Fire the glutes, and then in and hold. Breathe. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale as you close. Got one more. Very nice. Before we get back to our feet, we're going to do a few stretches down here. Walk the knees in so that they're touching each other, and we're just gently going to rock the hips side to side. Quadruped hip rock. Back and forth. Waking up the low back a little bit more. Stretching out a different part of the hips. Might get a couple little pops in there. I just felt a few. Fantastic. And then we're going to walk the knees out, keep the toes together, stretch the arms nice and long, and gradually sink back for child's pose. Dropping the head between the arms. And again, focus on your breath here. Take a few nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage. Drop a little closer to the ground as you exhale. Got one more there. And then you're going to rock back forward, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, turn the toes under. We're going to bring the hips up for down dog. So hips high, gently pulse the head between the arms, and we're going to rock forward and back here about 3 times. Very nice. After those down dog pulses, gradually walk out those heels. Get a nice stretch in the back of the calves, back of the legs. Three to 5 on each side. And then once you've gotten a nice stretch in the back of the legs, we're going to gradually make our way back to our feet. So you can either go to your knees or widen out the feet, walk the hands in, and come on back to the top. All right, very nice. So 2 options here today, just based upon how your balance is feeling as we wake up. You can either lift up and just hold this single leg balance, or if you're feeling pretty secure here, you can work on that single leg deadlift, or you're going to hinge over and then drive through, stand tall. Okay, we're going to spend about 30 seconds on each side, and we'll do a little stretch for the hips in between sides. So this will be kind of part of our warm up here, practicing some balance and so on. So stand tall, pick a side you want to start on. I'm going to be on the left. 2, 1, and here we go. Lengthen, hold strong through the core. So either balance here or bowing forward. Really be patient here. Grip the toes, send that non-working leg back. Bowing forward, reaching for the ground, and stand. Reset each time, lifting up out of the hip, over and up. Good job. And one more. Back foot should be pointing down towards the floor, and there's a little bit of bend in that front leg. Great job, crew. Very nice. And then make sure you note, so if you're balancing on your left leg, just we'll go to the right side next. We're gonna go wide base stance in between legs, and we're gonna go our side lunge here, opening up that inner thigh. So heels are planted, toes are gripping down, pushing that knee out. Very good, side to side. Fantastic. Let's get about once more each side. There you go. And then when you're ready, walk the feet back in. Opposite leg. So I'm working on the right. I'm gonna set that foot, grip those toes, lifting up. And 2, 1. Here we go. Again, either holding that balance or practicing that forward hinge, that single leg balance, bowing forward and stand. Very good. Being patient. Try to find a spot to focus on. Spot about, I don't know, about 4 to 6 feet ahead of you on the ground. Moving with control. Very nice. Couple more. Hinging over. There you go. Fantastic. And maybe one more. Bowing forward and coming on up. Very good. Go ahead and finish that. And then we're going to go a little bit faster here. Get some blood flow, either step jacks or some jumping jacks. 30 seconds here. Very good. 15 seconds left. If you need to take a break from the jumps and go into a step. And 2, 1. And let's go to a march next. Punching across the body. Knee up and reach across. Pardon me. Good. Shoulders stacked right over the hips. As you lift the knees, lift the toes. Wonderful. Two, 1, and one more time. This time, arms to the side, either step jacks or our jumping seal jacks. Nice. Fantastic. 15 more seconds. There you go. Good. 2, 1, and either repeating the march and punch or going into a skip. 20 more seconds here. Continue to bringing up that heart rate and body temperature. Solid job. 2, 1, and let's go ahead and grab some water. Stay on your feet. We're going to go one more cycle of that balance exercise, and then we're going to take it to the ground. Grab a drink. I got to turn off my heat here. All right, once you got a drink of water, let's go back to your left leg. Whatever you did the first time through. If you did that forward hinge or practicing that 30 seconds of a single leg balance. 2, 1, and here we go. Hinging forward, reach for the floor, and up. It's normal to feel a lot of wobble in that support leg. We're just practicing, allowing our body to readjust for that balance. Lifting up, be as long as you can through your shoulders and hips. Beautiful. That one more. Ooh, a little wobbly there. Forward and up. And beautiful. All right, let's go one more time on that inner thigh stretch. Side lunging. Solid. Reaching those arms out for that counterbalance. Make sure you keep that knee in good position, pushing it out over the toes. Fantastic. Feet back in. Same thing other side here. We'll go in 5, lift up through the core as long as you can up out of that hip. And here we go, bowing forward, hinging over, drive for the heel. Good, nice and patient. And every time you stand, lift back up out of the hip. We're halfway through. Over and up. Good job. Whoop. Lost my balance there. Reset. Last one. And through. Fantastic. Feel free to grab another drink, and then let's make your way to the floor. We're going to be coming onto our back for some glute bridges. If anyone can't get down to the floor, you could go good mornings while we're doing glute bridges. All right, instead of going for time, we're going to be doing reps here. So we're going to go between 6 and 12 reps, just moving at your own tempo. We're going to take you through 2 rounds. So the first round, I'm going to have my feet flat. Second round, you can either keep them there, or if you want to elevate your feet up on the chair to bring the hamstrings a little bit more involved, you can do that. So shoulder blades back and down, feet flat on the ground. And then whenever you're ready, just gradually start to push the hips up and forward and relax down. I'm going to move through 12, and you can move at your own pace as well, whatever feels good for you. Get a nice contraction, that open position. And as you open the hips, pull your chin in towards your chest. Open up the back of the neck. Great time to just close the eyes, relax your brow, and not worry about focus on anything. If there's any pinching in the low back, don't go up quite as high. And again, tucking that chin in. Very nice. Couple more. If you are getting pinching in the low back, you could always pause out of this bridge and hug both knees into your chest. Maybe you need to stretch out that low back just a little bit more. Last one. Up and pause. Very good. From the glute bridges, we're going to roll onto our side for a side plank. So a couple of options here. You could be on your knees or on your toes. You can do a side plank pulse where you come up, or a side plank dip, up and down, all right? Or you could go rotations. Those are best off the toes, and you're going to reach underneath the arm and rotate up through, okay? You can either stack your feet or you can stagger the feet. So same idea between 6 and 12. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin here. I'll move through 12, and then we'll try to switch sides together. Breathe. Very nice. As you reach underneath that arm, really focus to not let your shoulder dip down. Start to feel those obliques firing. Very good. A few more. Very good. Before we go to the other side, we're going to come onto our backs and just go ahead and pull both knees in for a double knee to chest. Kind of rock yourself side to side. Very nice. And then when you're ready, we'll come on up and roll to the other side. If you counted your reps on those dips or rotations, look to match that number here on the other side. 2, 1, and join us when you're ready. So lifting up. Again, you can either dip the hip up and down or working on this rotation, reaching under, rolling through. Very good. About halfway. Anytime you need to rest, Don't sacrifice that position just to get a couple more reps. All right, last one there. Very good. Now we're going to come to hands and knees. Or those of you that are standing, you could do these seated. We're going to do our thoracic rotations. So hands beneath the shoulders, arm behind the head. Let's go between 3 and 6 on each side. So again, I'll take you through 6, opening and peering over that shoulder. Good. This time we're going to exhale as you open. Try to get the air out of the lungs. Nice. Good, Diane. Try to peer over that shoulder as well. Follow it, looking over that right shoulder. And let's go one more. Beautiful. And then switch sides. Same thing, other side. Good support out of that bottom arm. Open and close. So this will be the end of our first cycle, and then we're going to go back to our glute bridges for one more round, 6 to 12 reps of each. So working on some core activation, getting the glutes to fire. I know better than to start talking while I'm trying to count. Let's go one more here. Down and up. Fantastic. All right, finish that up. If your water's nearby, if you want to grab a drink. Otherwise, we'll make our way back to our backs. So again, you can have your feet flat on the ground like we did the first time, or if you want to use a chair or a bench, you can elevate the feet up. And we call this a bench or a box hamstring curl. So shoulder blades back and down, everything in good position. And then whenever you're ready, again, I'm going to work through 12. Do what's best for you. Still focusing not just on the glutes and the hips, but what's going on with the back of the neck, tucking that chin in. Get a nice stretch there as you open the hips. Very good. Continue to lengthen. Ooh, starting to feel some burn in the back of the legs. And about one more. And rest. Fantastic. Finishing that up and then making our way back for one more cycle of those side plank dips or rotations. Pick the side you're going to start on. Stack that elbow right underneath the shoulders. If you're on the knees, I recommend the dips, and then the side plank rotations work best from the toes. So feel free to stagger the feet, and whenever you're ready. As you reach underneath that bottom shoulder, really lifting up, holding everything square. Nice job. This ends up being close to 45 seconds of a side plank. Fantastic. Go ahead and come down in between sides. And before we roll into the other side, we're going to spend just a moment in the seated twist. So I'll sit tall, cross one leg over, pull it in, and peer over this opposite shoulder. Just make sure you're paying attention to which side you just did for your side plank so you don't get confused when we come out of the stretch. Nice deep breaths here. Good job. Switch legs when you're ready. Extending out one, stepping the other one over, hug it in. really lengthen up out of that spine, and then gradually bring yourself into that seated twist, peering over the shoulder. Nice deep breathing. Good job. Relax out of that, and then let's make our way. I'm headed to the left side. Last time through on these side planks, and then we'll do one more cycle of those thoracic rotations as well. Stack the feet or stack the knees, 2, 1, here we go. Up and hold, reaching under. Like I mentioned, it's gonna be about 45 seconds. Either hold the whole time or break it into little short intervals where you come out of it and then come back in. Right about halfway. Nice job, crew. A couple more. And finish it up there. Making your way back to all fours for 3 to 6 reps of those thoracic rotations. So you can either continue to stay up on the palms, or if you felt good there, want to go a little bit deeper into the twist, you can take it down to the forearm. So support arm would be on the forearm. Same idea from there, hand behind the head, elbow to elbow, and then rotate. And it just gradually makes a slight adjustment on the area that really gets the focus as you rotate. Exhale as you peer up towards the sky. Got one more. Fantastic. Same thing other side when you're ready. And last one. Beautiful. All right, we're going to stretch a little bit more down here for the upper body because we've got some upper body focus work coming up next. We're going to go back to child's pose, but a different variation. So I bring my toes together, divide the knees, and now I'm going to walk my hands over to my left side, reach my right arm long, and then drop down from there to get a little bit more of the lat isolated here. So really stretching out that side body. Breathe into the area that you feel that stretch. And then exhale, drop yourself a little bit closer to the floor. One more breath here, then we'll switch sides. And when you're ready, you're gonna walk the hands to the opposite side. Same idea from there. Toes together, knees divide, left arm reaches nice and long, and stretch back. I'm not really anywhere near the floor. I'm about a good foot off the ground, but you just drop your chest down a little bit so you get that stretch through the lat. I feel it into my hips a little bit and low back as well. And everybody might feel it a little bit differently. Fantastic. All right. So we're going to be going 2 rounds. We're going to work for a full minute. The 2 exercises that we're going to be doing, either the plank or the Renegade row. So if you have some weights that don't roll around, you can use some weights in the plank position. Renegade row here, where you're alternating your arms. If you don't have weights that are balancing like that, do what we call just the torso row, utilizing the hand, pulling it up and in, okay? Could also be done this off of an elevated surface. I'm gonna take you through a full minute of that. If you need to rest as you go through, just take a break, come back in when you're ready. We'll have about 15 seconds to transition. And as we're getting ready for this, come on up, let's go some tricep stretches. So we're gonna reach, you can stand or kneel, grab that elbow, and let's go 5 side bends to the side. Because we're getting ready for some overhead work. So again, you can use weights or you can even use a band here, and it's gonna be upwards of a minute of an alternating overhead press. So one arm pushes up, and then the other. I'll take you through a full minute. We'll take about 30 seconds to get back down to the floor, maybe grab a quick sip of water, And then we'll go one more time through, a little bit longer intervals today, a minute of that plank or renegade row, taking a break, and then 1 minute of an alternating overhead press. If you didn't stretch that other arm, let's get side bends on that other side. And if anyone's having anything going on it's tough to reach overhead, or if you don't want to use weights, you could always use bands here too, where you hold the bands straight up. If you don't want to push to overhead, you could put the band behind your back and then just punch it straight out like a horizontal press. Okay, so Diana, if any of that feels a little bit better for your traps, just make some adjustments through there. All right, we're going to start it here in about 20 seconds. Does anyone have questions before we begin? I'm going to demo the renegade row, and I'm going to do the overhead press from standing. You could do it seated or standing. All right. Yeah.
So I'm going to do the plank from the table.
That sounds great.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, folks, in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Make sure you have a nice solid position in that plank. Pulling the belly button in, not allowing that low back to arch, and then real strong support up out of that shoulder. Holding that chin neutral, looking right between your wrists. And breathe. If you feel yourself start to fall out of position, just give yourself a break. Either call the interval early or jump back in. We're 30 seconds into that minute. As you're rowing that elbow up, think shoulder blade down, pulling that lower shoulder blade towards your spine. Good work. 15 seconds left. Couple more. Get to work the back here as well as a little bit more of that core work. 2, 1, and transition. Very good. Either seated or making your way to your feet. Alternating overhead press is next. 2, 1, here we go. And this time now we're going to elevate the shoulder as we push to overhead, trying to bring that weight right over the center of your center of gravity. So sometimes people go out to the side. You want to go straight up, shoulder towards the ear. And as you're pressing overhead, still fire that lower body. So I'm clenching my glutes, firing the thighs even, gripping the toes down so you have a really nice strong base of support on the bottom. That's 30 seconds. Feel free if anyone wants to go a little bit shorter on the intervals. Nice job. Great extension, everybody. 45 seconds done. Breathe and elevate. Couple more. And 2, 1, transition. Fantastic. I'm going to grab a quick drink. We'll make our way back to the floor. We'll start here in 30 seconds. Just 2 rounds here today. Okay. All right, 15 seconds. All right, going in 10. Jean, I saw you rolling the wrists. If your wrists are bothering at all, you could always do a seated row with bands as well. 2, 1, and begin. Very nice. As you're rowing, try to have as little shift as possible between your hips and shoulders. So hold everything strong and neutral. The arm you're supporting on, make sure you have a little give in that elbow. You don't want to get hyperextended through the elbow. That's our 30-second mark. Pulling it up and in and pause. "45 seconds done. I know my body's shaking a little bit, holding this plank. Make sure you're watching that low back, not letting yourself start to arch. And 2, 1, transition. Fantastic. One more round through that overhead press. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Alternating sides. If you're feeling good with this motion, as one's going up, the other one's coming down. There you go. Keeping the ribs down, firing the glutes. And continue to breathe. Nice job. 30 seconds in. And then watch your lower body too. A little bit of give in the knees, gripping the toes. There's 45 seconds. Elbows come forward as you come down. Almost there. And 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. Great job, crew. All right, shake out those arms. Thanks for the air fives. All right, let's go behind the back stretch. Slight bend in those knees, feet are outside the hips. Interlace the fingers, extend, lift up while you keep the ribs down. And then either hang out here if you feel good for that forward fold. Long spine, send the hips back. Reaching the arms overhead. Keep that weight back in the heels, gripping the toes. Nice deep breaths, and then coming up when you're ready. Fantastic. And then make your way over to the wall. Place your elbow right about shoulder height. Inside leg steps forward, and then turn your body away. Nice opening through the chest here. All right, we're going to spend a few minutes here getting prepped for the next one, doing a couple more stretches. We're going to be finishing with a 10-minute circuit. We're going to include some single leg work. Go ahead and switch sides on this upper body stretch, opposite arm. Either doing some reverse giant steps or that reverse lunge. It's going to be 8 on each leg. From there, we're going to go into 10, either doing a deadlift, just standing straight up with it, or if you want a little bit more challenge today, you can go from the ground to the chest to overhead. I'll show you what that looks like. Then we go back to the number 8 burpees, or you're welcome to do push-ups. I'm going to be doing some burpees today. And then we take it down to the ground, lying on our backs. Quad stretch next, crew. Grabbing one foot, pulling the heel to the glute. Lower core activation. So 10 reps of a supine tuck up. That means you're on your back, pulling your knees up, or you can do the leg lowering abs. So again, the rep count goes 8 reps, 10 reps, 8 reps, 10 reps. And we'll be working for a total of 10 minutes. So you can kind of follow me the whole time, or you can move at your own tempo. You might be moving faster than me or slower than me, whatever feels best. Switch legs if you haven't. Same thing, other side. All right, very nice. So let's just talk about a couple of these movements. So, just based upon how you're feeling, the reverse lunge, we'll kind of move through it as we go. A lot of you have done that with me. Deadlift, can just stand over and up, okay? If you have a little bit lighter weight than the deadlift and want a little bit more challenge, you can go ground to overhead, either with 2 weights or 1. So what that would look like, I can hold my weight if I have 1 just like so, hinging over, going to like mid shin or the floor. But if I'm holding it like this, I'm just going to go below the knees, up to my shoulders, and then drive up to overhead. So again, I would hinge over. So it involves a deadlift, and then I'm going to bring it to my chest, dip and drive, push it up to overhead. Okay. I'm going to do deadlifts on the first cycle to show that. And then on round 2, I'm going to add that overhead piece. So you can either stick with the deadlifts if you want a little bit different variation. All right. And then on the burpees, you can do them elevated from a no push-up up to overhead. I'm going to show them from the floor today. You can either do them here, which I'll do on round 1, or if you want a little extra challenge or if shoulders feel up for it, you can come all the way to the chest touches, strong in the midline as you push up, either off the knees or the toes, step up or hop up to the top, okay? And I said, if you don't want to get up and down so much, you could just be doing 8 push-ups. And then once we're in the clock, we'll talk through the lower core as well. Go ahead and grab some water. We'll get started here in just about 30 seconds or so. And I'll take it fairly slow on that first round, kind of still giving some instruction as we move. And like I said, we're going to be working for a total of 10 minutes. Anytime you need a break, just give it to yourself and then join us again when you're ready. Any questions before we get started? All right. We're going to start 8 reps on each leg, either the lunges or the reverse steps. So just kind of warm yourself into it. 2, 1, here we go. So standing tall, front foot planted, stepping 1 foot back. If you're comfortable to bring that knee down, heel planted on that front foot, then you'll step up and through, pulling through that front foot. We're going to alternate legs. So chest tall, front shin vertical, drive that heel down, pull up and forward. Very good. And then just find your rhythm here. Like I said, 8 on each leg, but the reps are always suggested. So if it doesn't feel appropriate for you and you want to change it up, please do. Controlling it. And if you can't quite get that back knee to the ground and feel stable, just find your range that you do feel stable. Very good. Really important to have that stable front leg and not to be dropping that knee fast to the floor. So good control. About 1 more each side. Deadlifts are next. Very good. So once you've done 8 on each side of that, you can move into the deadlift. It can be 2 weights or 1. I'm going to go a little bit closer foot. So toes straight ahead. Chin in. I'm going to hinge over. So I'm sending my hips back. Fire the glutes as you stand tall. 10 reps on the deadlift. So hinge, stand straight up. Good. Yep. And I see Sharon's doing that sumo variation because she's got a kettlebell between her legs. That's fantastic. Over and up. Long spine as you stand. As always, fire those glutes. And reps always end up being estimated as I talk and count, which ends up being a little bit off. Let's go a couple more. Hinge and stand. Over and up. Good work. We're moving into our burpees next. So you can go no push-up or full push-up. Like I said, first round, we're going to go no push-up. If you'd rather do just push-ups and not come up and down so much, that's great. Step in the feet or hop in the feet. Engage the glutes. Stand tall. We're going 8 reps here. If you are stepping your feet, alternate which foot steps up. Try to step it as close to your hands as you can. Still starfishing those fingers so you have a nice support through the wrist. Very good, everybody. Burpees. Go a couple more, and then we're going to go on to our backs next for our lower abdominal exercise. Very good. Making your way onto your back. I'm going to show the tuck ups this first round. So knees are going to be bent, feet start back. This exercise is focused on that lower core. So push the low back into the ground, pull the knees up and into your chest. You can lift the hips off the ground. And then as you lower those feet back down, you're pushing your low back into the floor to not allow it to arch. 10 reps here. And this will be the end of the first cycle. Back to those lunges next. And it's normal, you should feel your abdomen pushing out. So you're not trying to suck it in, you're just activating that core. It's bracing your spine. It's probably right about 10. Very good. Feel free if you want to grab some water. We're already 4 minutes in, so we'll get one more full round in. If everyone's feeling good, maybe we'll even go 12 minutes. All right, crew. No rush, but whenever you're ready, we're going to go back to either those giant steps or the lunges. Chest tall, stepping it back, front heel planted, alternating legs, upwards of 8 on each side. Great job. Gripping the toes, pushing that front heel down to the front leg. So pull it into the ground. I like to think about like I'm clawing myself up and forward. If I had some spikes on that foot and like I was in some dirt, some sand, I'd be digging it in, pulling my momentum up and forward. Chest tall, everything stable. I'm just laughing at myself. It's like, how many was that? Let's get about one more each side. Fantastic. After about 8 on each leg, we're going to move back. You can either stick with those deadlifts for 10, or if you want to do that ground to overhead, hinging over, stand, I bring it to my shoulders, dip and drive to overhead. Upwards of 10 reps here. And to get it up to my shoulders, instead of like doing a bicep curl, I think about hoisting it up. So I kind of almost do a little jump to get a momentum into my hips. So I hinge, stand, up to the shoulders if you're going there, all the way to overhead. Nice job. Or just nice and stable for that deadlift. If you finish these before me, it's burpees next for 8. This one is the 10. Great job, everyone. Let's get like 1 or 2 more. Awesome job. 8 reps on the burpee or push-up. Either sticking with that top of the plank, or if you want to come to the chest, just make sure you hold your elbows in good position. Midline strong, watching to not arch that back as you come up. Great work. If you're doing the steps, alternating which foot is stepping, we tend to favor one side, and that can lead to some imbalances through the hips. So make sure you're using both sides as equally as possible. Great job. Nice long steps to get that foot towards the hand. After approximately 8 reps here, again, we're headed to the back, coming onto the back for some lower core. You can either stick with those tuck-ups that we just did, or if you feel pretty secure there, and you can advance that to what we call leg lowering abs. That's where our legs are straight up in the air. Pulling that low back flat, just lower your legs down as far as you can without arching the back. Ten reps here. Now will be the end of set 2. Very good. Imagine if you had a balloon under your low back, you want to be pushing all the air out of that balloon. Fantastic. Whew. Great job. All right, we're about 8.5 minutes in. Let's go ahead and kind of keep moving here. We got a little bit of extra time here, so maybe we'll work for a total of 12. If you need a break, take a break. Otherwise, lunges. I might move just a little bit faster, so don't feel like you have to keep up. Heel planted, chest tall. You want to step far enough back so that front shin is vertical. If you step too narrow, that knee will dive forward. So long step. If you don't feel ready to lower that knee down, that's okay. It would look just like this, and then up and forward. Fantastic. Couple more each side. Let's stick with those deadlifts next. They're a little bit faster than that ground to overhead. I think most of you did deadlifts last round anyhow. Very good. And if you're holding a single weight, wide base stance is best. Fire those glutes. Knees out, chin in as you hinge over. Long spine. Upwards of 10 here. Very nice. Good back position, Jean. Looks good. Yep. We're over 10 minutes, so if anybody wants to hold me to what I originally said. Otherwise, we'll move about another 90 seconds or wherever this round finishes out. Good. From the deadlifts to the burpee. Final set of burpees. Remember, starfish hands, good support through the palm. Keep your breathing consistent. Fire that backside as you come up to your feet. Use your muscles to pull your torso high. Nice job, everybody. From the burpees, we're going to go onto our back for one more cycle of that core work. Fantastic. Finishing out those 8 burpees. 11 and a half minutes in. So we'll do our 10 reps here and then we'll finish with a cool down stretch. So either knees bent or legs straight. Try that low back. Really good isolation of that lower core. Great job, everybody. When you finish these, we're just going to stay down on the floor and do a few cool down stretches down here. So a couple more. And last one. Beautiful. Go ahead and pull both knees into the chest and rock yourself side to side. Woohoo! Nice job. Take some nice deep breaths, bring the heart rate back down. Let's extend your left leg out, pull your right knee towards the right shoulder and actively push your left thigh towards the floor. Get a nice little bit of an opening into the inner thigh here as well. Breathe here for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to gradually pull that right knee across the body towards the left shoulder, start to isolate that glute a little bit more. And here you can just kind of start to trace through that hip, moving the knee up and down, feeling for any tension after that lunging work. Very good. Then let's switch leg. Extend out your right. Actively push the right thigh down towards the floor. Pull your left knee towards your left shoulder. Open up through that inner thigh a bit here. Good time to close those eyes. When you're ready, left knee across the body to the right shoulder. Saying hello to the hip on the left. Sliding it through, up and down a couple times, feeling any stiffness, any catching areas. Very good. Then when you're ready, we're going to go figure 4. We'll start on the right side. So right foot to the left thigh, hug the leg in. And if you'd like to extend that left leg up, point the foot towards the ceiling, point the foot away, pull it towards your face, and then bend that knee back down. Really hug the leg in. A couple more cycles here. We're saying hello to that sciatic nerve on that left side, encouraging it to slide past all the muscles and what we call your fascia, which is your, basically it's like cellophane wrap around your muscles. And sometimes all that stuff gets a little sticky and gives us fits with those nerves. So we want to keep them sliding. Very good. Switch legs when you're ready. Same thing other side. Take your time first, saying hello to that hip on the left, and then when you're ready, you can extend that right leg up, point the foot away, pull it towards your face, and bend that knee down. Let's go about one more here. Very good. When you finish that, let's roll onto your side for quad stretch. Grabbing the foot, pulling the heel towards your glute, shoulder back. Great job. Hard part's done. Hopefully this makes the rest of your day a little bit easier. Good job. When you're ready, same thing other side. Stack the elbow. Nice deep breaths. Very good. Let's come onto all fours. Just a couple stretches for the upper body. So we're going to go thread the needle if you're familiar with it. So you're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders. Take one arm, you're going to go palm up, sliding it underneath the other, just nice and gradual. Lower that shoulder towards the floor. You're kind of trying to peer underneath the armpit. You can take the other arm, kind of walk it over your head a little bit, and then look up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Very good. Gradually come up out of that. And same thing other side. Palm up. Gradually slide that arm under, lowering the shoulder towards the floor. If anything feels too intense, then don't do it. Don't force anything. One more breath here. Fantastic. And then let's finish with down dog. Palms underneath the shoulders. Turn those toes under. Hips up high. Again, opening that mid back by pulsing the head between the arms. So I rock forward and rock back. And then pedaling out the heels. All right, everybody. Feel free to add anything else that your body may be asking for. And thanks so much for being here today. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.